What's up, YouTube?
Hi everyone! We've been here in Cuprum, Idaho for 6 weeks now, and we're so grateful to my cousins for allowing us to stay here this long. It has been quite a learning experience for us both, right?
Totally.
And there are so many things that we've learned here that we just thought we would do a little bit of a recap and share with you guys some of the stuff that we've had to address and learn and hurdles that we've had to overcome.
So the reason that we needed to stay and not start heading down the road, because we are heading south for the winter, is we had those family issues come up that we needed to deal with. So it's been great to be up here where it is 2.5 hours back down.
Back to Ontario, yeah.
Being here gave us the ability to practice being out in the wild. So even though we had electricity available and running water available, we didn't use them. We chose to do the totally off grid so that we could see how it was going to work.
Yeah. And the other thing we had to learn too is being parked in the pine trees, you don't have full solar. So, but one thing that we just want to touch base on some of the things that we have learned and share with you guys. And probably one of the biggest ones for both of us was, what do you do with your garbage, right?
Right. So, because the places that we've been out plenty, but they all had dumpsters for us. Up on the Owyhee River, the BLM had dumpsters down at the hot springs and at the camp areas.
Yeah, Mann's Creek had dumpsters,
Yep.
so it was no problem to dump our garbage. But up here at Cuprum, there's no dumpsters, guys.
And the other element to it is, it's bear country,
Yes.
Serious bear country. We found bears got just 100 yards up the hill here.
Yeah, behind the
And
bus.
one of the locals shared that he had filmed 40 different bears in a season here, so we're like, yeah.
Yeah, and we personally ourselves have seen a mama bear with 2 cubs and another bear just on some of our day adventures. So we know it's bear country. But anyway, what we've had to do...
Well, I think some people might not realize that means you can't just tie a knot in your bag and stick it out
or
away from the bus and wait till you go. You kind of have to keep it inside.
Or even put it just in the back of the pickup under the tonneau cover.
Which you're then in danger of the bear tearing the heck out of your tonneau cover because he wants the garbage.
So the nearest town is an hour away down the mountain to Council, Idaho. And so we went down there, and while we were doing laundry and getting some groceries, Randy investigated where to dump the trash.
Which was 5 miles north of town. But it was free.
Dump.
I was told, well, you can dump your trash out there 5 miles. It's free. So that's no big deal.
Yeah.
So we just started. I'd drop her off at the laundromat. I would go dump the garbage, come back. When the laundry was finished, we'd go get our groceries.
Yeah, but what we did learn is the dump was only open on certain days. So we had to schedule our trips into Council, according to when the dump was open. Another thing was ferrying water. We've got the system worked out and it's working great, but we had to ferry water back. So we kind of learned every time we went down the mountain anywhere in any direction, we took our garbage and we made sure our water containers were in the pickup.
Yeah, because you forgot to mention that
Yeah.
down the Kleinschmidt at the Idaho Power RV Park, there's dumpsters and water, and the camp host said, you're more than welcome to dump your garbage and fill up your water here.
Yeah,
So we did that every time we went down there.
So there's a video on the Kleinschmidt, and trust me guys, it's not a place we want to take the bus down. But it's a beautiful drive down there in the pickup and down to the Hells Canyon. So we've made a few trips that direction. Okay, so the other thing is, how do we get our groceries back up here? Because we've got a tonneau cover on the pickup, but the last 10 miles of coming into camp is a dirt road. And so there's a lot of dust. Our tonneau cover is not airtight, right?
It's not. It leaks dust all over the place.
So,
Everything in the back of the pickup gets covered in dust.
yeah, so for the two of us, we were putting our groceries in our large cooler, which was working, but then our kids came up and we ran down to Ontario and bought a few extra groceries, and needless to say, when I got to the pickup with all these groceries, Randy wasn't pleased.
I was like, what am I supposed to do with all these? You know they're going to be sitting. Luckily, we had garbage bags with us, and so we took the grocery bags, put them in garbage bags, and tied them shut, and that
Yeah.
worked to get them back.
Yeah, so we learned that lesson too.
Well, the other thing is we got the Coleman cooler, like out at Walmart, and it's a great big one. I think it's been in other videos, but that thing get all dirty. I could take a hose and just wash the dirt off the top. Well, then there's mud inside the thing. It's not
It's
tight.
not airtight at all.
So there may be a cooler upgrade in our future for sure, because
Yeah.
that's not,
That's not serving us, huh?
that's not working too good.
And then that also brought up the question of how do we get our clean laundry back? So, I mean, we don't have a dual cab, so pretty much everything has to go behind the seat or in the back of the pickup. So we quickly learned to buy bigger garbage bags and wrap all of our clean laundry in garbage bags to get them back to the bus. So it's been quite a little bit of a learning curve, huh?
Yeah, we had to deal with the garbage and the water and the clothes and the laundry. What else?
Now the electricity,
solar.
the solar system.
Yeah, so what happened with the solar system was her and I had come to an equilibrium, and we kind of learned how much we could use the AC, and we developed a strategy which, when we put in the AC unit, we made it so we could just cool the back 1/3 of the bus, the great room or the bedroom, whichever you want to call it. And so we started doing that, and with the tables back there, we could pop up a table and we could play cards, or we could eat back there, whatever we chose, and be nice and cool. Well, when the kids came, who went down on the river and came back up, it was 111 coming up the Kleinschmidt grade. Everybody was hot when we got here, and they landed in the bus.
Yeah, it was like 97 when we got back to the bus, you guys.
So I thought, well, that ain't gonna hurt nothing. I'll just let the AC cool the whole thing. And it was about dinner time when Shelley hollered out, "Hey, Randy, everything just shut off."
It just, like somebody flipped the switch, you guys. If you want to know what happens when you run out of solar, that's what it is.
Well,
like-
battery power.
Yeah,
because
battery
for
power.
our system, which is Victron with Battleborn batteries, the way it's programmed, it just turned off.
Yeah, yeah. So
So,
which was cool.
Yeah. So we learned from that. I should have been paying more attention and shut it off before it got down there. I could have started the generator and cooled everybody off and charged the batteries at the same time, but I didn't.
But, yeah.
But-
And you got to realize too, we're parked in the pine tree, so we're not getting our full solar like
Yeah.
we normally were. So
So that would have never happened if we would have had full sun.
Yeah.
Whatever. We learned how to deal with that, and we learned that it takes 4 hours with the generator to fill the batteries completely back up to 100%, and that there's still 1/3 of a tank of gas left in the generator. So we learned from
yeah,
that.
it was a very good learning. And we all survived. It started cooling off, and so we moved outside, had dinner outside, and everybody was good.
So what else did we learn?
But that was a good lesson learned. One of the other things was overcoming the challenge of not having cell coverage up here. Yeah,
So when we go down to town, while she's doing laundry, we were both on our phones going, "What's interesting that I can download? What can I download?" That's not so easy.
yeah. But it was the fact that we had to basically drive an hour to check in with our kids, check in with Randy's brother, make sure everything was okay down in Ontario. Did we need to venture on further? So it was just kind of that learning curve, and then uploading videos for you guys to watch and stuff like that. So yeah, and we didn't have cell coverage at Mans Creek either, but it was only 15 minutes to get cell coverage. It wasn't an hour. So that was a little bit of a learning curve and an adjustment too, but we overcame it, huh? We watched a lot of
Well,
movies.
our cell plan, our cell plan has enough minutes or whatever hotspot or
Yeah.
data. We can, I don't know all that techie stuff, but we can go down there and we have enough stuff we can upload our videos without overloading our plan.
And still watch our YouTube people we like to follow, huh?
Yeah, so that,
Well, and the other thing too, I know you guys are going to comment. We have a VE.Bus. But there's nothing up here. Yeah, I mean,
for Verizon,
yeah.
Verizon works here where we're at, but AT&T doesn't.
Yeah. So the VE.Bus was not going to help us out here at all. But other than that, I mean, we've been very self-sufficient for the 6 weeks that we've been up here. Even though we had all of the amenities here, if we wanted to tap into it, that was kind of the thing we told my cousins when we came up. We don't want to use the electricity or anything, so we wanted to totally live off grid, huh? Which
Yep.
is what we've been doing.
Yeah. We did a lot of four-wheeling up here. We put out a video on the four-wheeling and asked for suggestions, and we got some great tips, and we've already got some more supplies for the four-wheeling adventures. And we did a lot of quad riding up here, but it came to I mean, you can do what's right for you, but there was an adventure that went down into a mine area, and I was like, yeah, nobody knows we're going to be down there. And there's nobody, can't call somebody and say, hey, if I don't call you back at 6, come looking for me. So, but it was awesome because in one of the videos on the four-wheel, and the guy said, get an e-perp, and I'm like, my brother's got one of those. I should have thought of that. You know,
Yeah.
so you have that little security of push that button and somebody's going to come and find you.
So we're going to check into that when we go back to Ontario, huh?
And we're going to check into the Onyx app so that you can see what's Forest Service land
Yeah.
and which is private land, which was not hard to determine up here, but
But that's another good
another thing I think
another
that
tool to
will
have.
help us in the future is to know, are you on Forest Service BLM or
private.
private?
Yeah. So after being out for 6 weeks here and 2 weeks at Mans Creek, there's a few things that we want to do to tweak the bus just a little bit. So when we get back to Ontario, that's pretty much what we're going to focus on for a little bit, and then do a few more trips out before we start heading south, huh?
Right.
We've got a couple more engagements that we want to attend to towards the end of August. Before we
we'll definitely be we'll be heading southward toward Arizona because we know we want to spend the winter in Arizona, probably in those long-term vacation areas down around Yuma and whatever.
Yeah.
We know about them. We kind of been down there. We know we want to spend time in the Sedona area.
Yep.
We want to see our friends in the Jerome area.
Yep. So
So-
that's what our plan is, guys.
So there's no major mods for the bus. I mean, the water spout, that plastic water spout is like, it doesn't stay shut real well. It's pretty flimsy. We're going to upgrade that. We're going to put another TV and DVD player in the back so that we can go in the back and shut the door, stay cool and watch TV. And a few other things,
Just
but we'll
some-
put them on another video.
Yeah, some little things. So
But mostly, the bus is freaking awesome. She's performing super well. We're very happy and
Yeah.
grateful that we have what we have. The
We-
pickup is working really great. I mean, I can tell you this, YouTube, when you go on a quad, you're going to get there twice as fast. But it doesn't mean that you can't get there in the four-wheel drive pickup. It just is a lot slower, you know, having to slow down over the rocks and stuff.
yeah. But we love living in the bus. It's working.
Yeah,
know.
the bus is working great.
Yeah. So we're feeling really good about everything.
I don't have any problems. I mean, we can get by each other. We pretty much determined the back steps are a waste of time. We never use them.
Yeah. So we're going to look into that when we get back down to Ontario. and maybe replace them with something, because also we realize those might be an issue for traveling, because they do, I know a lot of you guys have asked, they don't fold up or anything. We just lift them up into the back when the bed is put up in the
that's
great
another
room.
video.
But so anyway, we just wanted to bring you guys up to date on how our stay here at Cuprum had been.
It's been totally awesome. It's totally worth it. And we found, when we were out exploring, we found other places we'd like to come and park the bus up on the top of a mountain and some different overlooks that were like.
Oh, yeah.
And down on the reservoir, there's a great place to park the bus sometimes.
And
so.
oh, guys, the wildlife that we saw up here! Wow, we saw a moose with a calf.
Yeah,
we saw bears.
Bear with 2 cubs. We saw a bear by itself.
We saw a 4-point deer.
Snowshoe rabbits.
We saw elk. We saw wild turkeys.
We saw a doe. We
It's,
saw a fawn.
it's,
We did.
we did. We
Up
did.
on the river, she
Yeah.
flushed a fawn with spots up
Yeah.
out of the brush.
Yeah, and we saw elk with.
Yesterday, we saw a great horned owl.
Yes.
Its wingspan was amazing. It flew right in front of us and lit in the tree and looked at us for a bit.
Yeah. So we've
A hummingbird's been flying all around us right here this morning
Yeah.
because they think Shelley's shirts is flowers.
yeah.
So they're attracted to her.
So and a plethora of butterflies. Oh my gosh, the
Oh, the
butterflies have
coolest
just
butterflies.
been beautiful up here. So we've just been so blessed with all this wildlife around us up here too. So we feel very grateful for that. But
We saw a western tanager for you bird watchers.
yeah,
Multiple times that they seem pretty secretive. They're hard to get the camera on them.
yeah.
And some other birds that I couldn't find in the book that were beyond common birds.
Yeah.
So that's been awesome. I love watching birds.
So anyway, just know that we love sharing the journey with you guys. So keep watching, and we will just catch you in the next video. Love to you all. Bye.
Bye.